What's up guys, Dirk here from Intelligent Cryptocurrency. It is January the 19th and today Ethereum broke the previous all-time high as predicted. Okay, the cycle is playing out as per the 2017 cycle to this point. And what I want to do here is just give you another update on what is happening, which is obviously Ethereum broke the all-time high, which is pretty cool. I'm wearing a Bitcoin hat, which I shouldn't be doing. I should be wearing an Ethereum hat, but I don't have one. So I need to order one of those. And then we're just going to look at what can we expect. And again, a lot of the stuff I have been saying over the past videos, and it is going to be a little bit where I just continue to say the same things because we are still playing things out that way, right? And I think the repetition here is important because, well, you know, practice makes perfect. It's really when you hear something enough times that you can start to think about it and really start to analyze it. So let's dive straight into it. Okay, so you can see this massive green candle, the biggest candle ever for the month in the history of Ethereum. You can see over here, it went literally from $740 to $1,400, and we still have 11 days left, 12 days left of the month. Okay, so anything could still happen. I mean, it could pull back too. It could continue going higher. So my thoughts are basically that the cycle, and I've made a video about this before, is the cycle is busy repeating, which in 2017 we saw Bitcoin go first, after that Ethereum played catch up, and after that the altcoins. And I still think that money flow is going to be the same. We've seen Bitcoin go to over $40,000, kind of pulled back, it dropped to 30,000, and now it's just chilling, $36,000, $37,000, right, as we're making this. But now Ethereum is playing catch up, and you can see how it was just building up to that, and it just absolutely launched this month. So in the period of 3 weeks, it almost doubled, okay? And what we're still seeing is that we're starting to see altcoins starting to make moves, okay? You can see they're starting to move higher slowly, but they're still lagging behind. They're still nowhere near what Bitcoin or Ethereum has done. And in my opinion, it's just a matter of time. That cycle is still repeating. There's no guarantees, okay? Just because it's up to this point, it's been repeating, doesn't mean it's going to continue. But I think there is a high chance that it will, that money flow is going to continue in that way. So we're seeing Bitcoin, now we're seeing Ethereum, and by no means is Ethereum done at this point, I don't think, right? In the same way that, let's look at Bitcoin. So we had Bitcoin, look, Bitcoin is running ahead of that. So if you just get rid of these 2 last months in Bitcoin, you can see this is pretty much where Ethereum was. It was at that all-time high level over here, right? And we've seen what Bitcoin does. It went to go on to double that all-time high. So Bitcoin, right? So now we have Ethereum. Ethereum is just at this point. So if it were to do the same as what Bitcoin was doing, well, then we're looking at double this all-time high. We're looking potentially at $2,800 per Ethereum in the next 2 months. I mean, if it does the same as what Bitcoin's doing. Now, there is something different that is happening with Ethereum that is going to, well, who knows what's going to happen, but it's interesting. CME Futures is launching on the 8th of February. So you can see over here, the CME group to launch Ether Futures on February 8th, 2021. Now, I don't know what that is going to do. I don't know if that's going to be good for Ethereum or if it's going to be bad, because remember back in 2017 the futures started launching right when Bitcoin peaked. So you know, I think we're not at the same point in the cycle, but you know, people do use futures for price suppression or for shorting also. So who knows what's going to happen. And there is a possibility that, you know, we still have 3 weeks left roughly until those futures launch. Maybe we'll get some sort of crazy launch with Ethereum in the next 3 weeks where it goes to $2,000 or $2,500, maybe $3,000 before that launch. If it does that, well, then it's probably going to start pulling back after that. So I don't know. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening. Crypto is definitely heating up again. The way that Bitcoin is pumping, and now Ethereum, the altcoins are starting to pop. This is getting attention now, and people who have been sitting on the sidelines, who have been in disbelief, who have been waiting and saying, you know, it's probably going to crash again, it's too early in the cycle, whatever their reasonings are, they've seen Bitcoin go up, now they're seeing Ethereum go up, and soon they'll be seeing altcoins go up, and at some point that retail FOMO is going to start. I'm starting to see the early stages of it already, like I shared in the last video too, where you know, just regular retail investors who kind of sat on the sidelines for the last 2-3 years are starting to figure out, how do I get my Binance account up and running? Which holdings do I have? How do I get started? Which coins do I buy? So we're starting to see that, but in my opinion, we're still nowhere near the mania of the end of 2017. Okay, so that can change pretty quickly. That can change in a couple of months. And also, like in the last video that I made, the cycle, so the 2013 cycle was a 12-month cycle. So we're looking potentially April, May, if that were to peak out then. But the 2017 cycle was pretty much 18 months from the halving. So that might take us to October, November. So, you know, we have to stay flexible with the stuff. But you can see once it moves fast. And if you wait, and literally 2 or 3 weeks can make the difference between all the gains or nothing, right? Like 3 weeks ago, literally at the start of this month, Ethereum was still trading at $740, right? You wait three weeks later, now it's at 1,400, and what do? Maybe you wait another 3 weeks and it's at 2,000 or 2.5 or 3,000, who knows, right? And the same thing with these altcoins is, sure, they might have already gone up a few X, right? And you might be wondering it's too expensive, but what if it goes up another 10X in the next 2 or 3 weeks and you still haven't positioned yourself? And that's going to be the position that a lot of retail investors are going to be finding themselves in. They are not aware of this. Maybe they've been following it, maybe they've been watching it, but by the time they decide to actually get in and actually take action, to start setting up their accounts, to start buying, start making a plan, start learning about what crypto is, you know, that always tends to happen towards the end of the cycle for the masses. By that point, the majority of the gains will have already been had. But then we start to enter the euphoria and mania phase of the cycle, where we really get that insane parabolic blow off, usually fueled by the retail investors that all start dumping in and start buying altcoins like crazy. And at that point, you know, like I've said before, the smart money is going to be looking to sell once all the dumb money starts piling in towards the end of things. And, you know, if you've been following the channel, hopefully you have positioned yourself already. And at that point, you will be able to follow a similar strategy, remove initial capital, take profits, reduce positions, maybe even get out of the market completely when things start to get too crazy, because there's nothing new under the sun. Cycles will repeat. I don't think this will be any different. There will be a massive boom. There will be a massive blow off. There will be a euphoria and a mania. And after that is done, things will come crashing back down. And there's going to be a lot of people who end up buying the top. We're going to end up holding it, writing it down, and then eventually selling it for a big loss. The same as last time. This happens over and over again. It's just human psychology. It's human nature. So by knowing this, okay, and by watching this right now, at least you can be prepared for that when that's going to happen. Now, nobody knows the future, right? This can happen. It can happen a lot quicker than we think, but it can also take a lot longer, and the parabolic blow-off can go a lot higher than we think. So if something goes 5x or 10x and you think there's no way it can go higher, maybe it does another 20x or 30x, right? It is completely possible. That's what we see, especially in the crypto markets, where it's a relatively small asset class. So there's not huge amounts of money needed to continue to keep pumping this higher and higher. And once that retail money starts flooding in, that pump can continue, and these altcoins can really go nuts. We're not talking like 10x here. We're talking 20, 30, 50, 100x, or maybe more in, I think, many coins. If we get the alt season that we had at the end of 2017, things are going to go nuts. So obviously no guarantees, not financial advice. I can't see the future. If I did, I would be a billionaire. Maybe I'd still be making YouTube videos, but you know, if I could see the future, that would be a different case. Nobody really knows. But what you can do is you can use these previous cycles and the knowledge of market sentiment and investment sentiment and things like that to be able to at least have some sort of guesstimate of how things are going to play out. You know, whether the market's going to turn around tomorrow, who knows. Yeah. So like I've said before, I think we have at least a couple weeks left, if not a couple months, and maybe if things really repeat like 2017, we're looking at potentially, you know, another 5 to 10 months of this bull run cycle. But personally, I think it will be closer to 5 and maybe even less than that. So we'll have to wait and see. But okay, so let's just sum this up real quick. So we have Bitcoin here. You can see this is a monthly chart. It went to the all-time high. It doubled the all-time high so far. We have Ethereum, okay? So far, it's just back at the all-time high. It's playing catch up. So I think there's a decent chance this is going to go way beyond where it is right now. And who knows how high that is, 2x, 3x, 5x. I don't know, okay? We'll have to wait and see. But there's a decent chance, in my opinion, that this is going to continue for a few more months. And then we're looking at the other altcoins, right? And they're still way down. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. And you can see over here, we're starting to see the signs of life already. Now you can see this pattern in most altcoins. They are following a similar pattern throughout the bear market because altcoins tend to move together, and you know that's just how the market's been working. So the last 2 years, you can see here, since the bear market, we have had a resistance level in most coins. I'll show you a few, and then you can see it's pretty much the same thing. But once we start breaking this resistance, then there's so much open space up here. And if you see what Bitcoin's done, if you see what Ethereum's done, I think it's likely that many altcoins are going to do the same and head back towards their all-time highs. Now, I don't know about the shitcoins. Maybe they will do it too. But I think solid projects and projects with more of a track record that are listed on bigger exchanges where there is potential for more liquidity, I think those are going to end up going higher. So NEO, for example, I think it has a lot of potential here for the upside. You can see it's starting to peak through a 2-year resistance level, right? If we look at, for example, ICX, similar thing. We had a 2-year bear market over here. That level is about 75 cents to 80 cents. Once we start getting above there, well then look how far it has to go, right? If it were to get back to the all-time high, you can see it's still really, really low. Same thing with a lot of these coins. You can go through them. So ARK, similar thing. It's been under this level for the last 2 years. You can see over here about 82 cents. Once we get above there, well then we've got a lot of open space up here to be able to start a big run up. And you can see over here how this happened in late 2017. It happened really quickly, right? This is monthly. So literally in a period of like 5-6 months, it went from where we are now to the all-time highs. And I think that is something that could end up repeating again, right? So it's a very similar situation with a lot of these different altcoins. There's so many of them. And I think, of course, I really like projects with good fundamentals, with good teams, with a working product and so on and so forth. But I do suspect there's also going to be a lot of coins that are basically shit coins with not much going on for them that will end up pumping because it's just a profit-driven market. And if there's a way for the whales or the manipulators or whatever you want to call it to profit by having a lot of bags of a coin and then pumping it up, let the retail investors FOMO in so they can dump their bags on that, I think we're also going to be seeing a bunch more of that. But just for example, like we saw Engine today, okay? Engine, really solid project. Let me see, where is it? Over here. So we saw Engine, and this is a project I've been bullish on for a few years. I think it's a really good project. It's just really good in the gaming space. And you can see a similar thing over here. It's been under this resistance for 2 years, and this month we had a massive pump. We broke through it, and you can see it's almost back at the all-time high over here. So that is what I'm expecting for a lot of different coins. As soon as they start moving and they start breaking these 2-year resistances from this bear market, there's a lot of upside, and then we start really moving. And once that money flows from Bitcoin and Ethereum into altcoins, and they start moving enough, and then retail investors start getting involved and start putting in more money, it just continues to push the price higher. And I think we're going to see all-time highs, and even, you know, maybe double or triple all-time highs in certain altcoins in the coming months later this year. So guys, that is purely my opinion and my insights based on the last few years of doing this and seeing this. It's not financial advice. I can't guarantee this is going to happen. Maybe everything turns around tomorrow and goes straight back to zero. You never know. And that's why you have to exercise proper risk management, only invest what you can afford to lose, and understand what the bet is, right? So what you put in, you have to be willing to lose completely. It has to be able to go to zero. But the potential upside, it's an asymmetric bet. So you lose what you put in, but the potential upside is 10x, 30x, 50x, maybe even 100x in altcoins. So that is the bet that you take when you get involved with cryptocurrencies. And I think we are still right on track with the cycle. The Bitcoin pump, then Ethereum's following. And I think in the next few months, if not the next few weeks, we should start to see altcoins move a lot higher. So hopefully that's the case. Just keep in mind, this is not going to last forever. Nothing keeps going up forever, especially, you know, nothing goes up like 30, 40, 50% a day for, you know, months or weeks on end. So just be prepared for that and make sure that you have an exit strategy, that you know you are going to remove your initial capital, you are going to take profits, reduce positions, maybe even get out of the market completely when you have some significant or even life-changing profits on your positions, okay? You don't want to be the person who's going to ride this all the way up and turn a portfolio of 5 figures into 7 figures and then ride it all the way back down again into 5 figures after the boom, it turns into a bust, okay? I think that's going to happen to a lot of people. It's happened in the past. It's likely going to happen again. So this time you want to be smart. That's why you're following this channel. That's why you're subscribed to this channel. If you haven't done so already, click that subscription button, click the notification bell so you do get the updates. And, you know, turn that like button blue. I'd really appreciate it. Smash it. I mean, it helps to get the video out to more people. We're in 8,500 subscribers on the channel, which is fantastic. But I'd like to grow this to 50, 100,000 subscribers because then I can help more people, right? I think this content, really, my goal is to help as many people as I can with this. There's no hype, no BS, no sponsorships, no nothing, right? And really my goal here is just to help as many people as I can, because I know that this can be life-changing for a lot of people, the crypto stuff, but it can also ruin a lot of people if you don't know what you're doing, you're buying in the wrong times, you're overextending, all that kind of stuff. So basically just sharing my experience with you here. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, share it with a friend if you think this is a video worth watching and they'd appreciate it. You know, I'd appreciate it if you share this with a friend. Leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts, or what do you think is going to happen with the bear market? When do you plan to exit? Anything you want to share with us is awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.